this baby somewhat turned around. Then I need to back out of that. See if it loads in now. It looks like it's loading. Okay. See where we are. All right. So, I guess what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we're going to be going over each machine. I'm going to be flipping the camera from this machine to that machine, and we're just going to be going over them. I ran both of them. I haven't gone over the Vesla since I had it in New London and did the top speed runs after I replaced the gear plate and everything. And then this one, I haven't gone over it since we did the little shakedown rip or whatever with the Taylor 35 in it. So I just kind of like to go over things and, you know, look at things and inspect things and try to find things before. Hey, what's going on, Harry? What parts did you get, bud? So, yeah, we're just going to be going over these machines, and I did kind of want to go over what I did to this tank, and I didn't have to do hardly anything to it. I mean, I just had to heat up this corner here, and once I heated it up, I just pushed it in with a screwdriver, and it just stays right there. I mean, it's still in there kind of loose, but it ain't going to hurt anything. I mean, everything's going to be flopping around in there. So yeah. Anyways, we can go ahead and, I guess, start going over things. I'll try not to walk in front of the camera too much, but at the same time, I always do that when I'm wrenching. And then I also wanted to tell everybody that I got my laptop right over here so I can see comments and I can respond to them. So feel free to give me some comments or whatever. So, and then we need this little wrench. I don't know if Rovin sent it on purpose or what, but this little wrench I always use for this inside the bend exhaust bolt here. It works perfect because the longer ones don't like to fit in there. So I always use that for that. Always keep it around for that. So I like to go over my exhaust, my engine mount points. Hopefully these things aren't caked too much full of mud. I like to go over my transmission mounts and all that stuff. But let's see where to put my nut driver. Oh, I just had it. The tank. Oh, sweet. Heck yeah, Woogie. Hey, what's up, Woogie? Glad to see you're in here. Trying to figure out. Oh, there it is. Yeah, those are caked full of mud. The bigger heads aren't as hard to clean out as some of these, like especially the 2.5 millimeter bolt heads. Man, those are a pain in my butt when they get packed full of mud. Then we'll switch over bits and go down here and go over our engine mounts. And then we'll do our front transmission mount. Okay. And the major thing I wanted to go over, guys, and I'm going to walk back in front of the camera here for this. But the major thing I wanted to go over, and maybe I want this short bastard. The major thing I wanted to go over is these chassis mounting bolts. That one's still tight. That one's still tight. Oh, yeah, she's trying to rock on me. That one's still tight. And that one's got some mud in it. And that one's still tight. And while we're down here, we may as well. That's that. That's that mount right there from the bottom. And let's see. Also, no, I don't know anything. The air filter. I don't know much about it. I've always ran just the standard air filter housing or whatever. Yeah, I don't know anything. Are you talking about the one that comes out and then goes up? See, I always like to check these, and then I always have a problem with these bolts right here on this brake top plate and stuff like that coming loose. So we'll just stick something in there and go over them real quick. Oh yeah, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. That one felt a little loose. Yeah, the cone one. I can't remember if I've ran one or not with my brain injury. I know I don't have one now, but I mean, as long as I've seen those little cone air filters, and I don't have any experience with them, but I imagine there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. Yeah, that's not work. Right now, we're just going to go over this mount. And we'll see if we can get the bottom. Hopefully they're not packed full of mud. That one's good. That one just a little loose. And that one's good. Okay. It's good. And so we'll take our 5. That's good. So okay. Pretty much got this machine gone over. I mean, not much. I've gone over the back half of this chassis so many times. Not much else comes loose. And then nothing really on the front chassis comes loose because I eliminated the 4-wheel drive, and it's just 2-wheel drive. So, let's see. I did want to touch on this carburetor because the video I uploaded, I think it was yesterday. The video I uploaded either yesterday or the day before. The debut of this Roccat hybrid with the Taylor 35 in it. That was loose. Huh. Okay. But what I was talking about is I can actually show you the carburetor I was going to put on it, and that was this. I was going to put this on it, and I had it on it, and I had it out back, and I was trying to get it to fire, and this being a 990, it has no choke, and so I was holding my hand over the velocity stack, and I pulled on it probably Oh, for the first time I pulled on it, probably a couple minutes. I thought we'll check the plug and see if we're getting any fuel. I checked the plug. The plug was bone dry, and with my hand over the intake, it should have been drawing something. And there's fuel in the primer bulb, as you can see. So everything was primed as far as as far as the lines go, and I could see fuel in, not in the bottom, but when I took the bottom line off to change carburetors, there was fuel right there. So basically, and I was holding my hand over it, trying to get it to fire up. And then I pulled the plug, no fuel, bone dry. So I put it back in, and I did it for probably another 2 minutes and pulled the plug again. It was still bone dry. And so that's when I swapped the carburetors. And this carburetor, I got a brand new 30.5 Rovan engine that's in there. It came, I believe it came in one of the latest Baja that I got. And I just instantly took it out because I knew I was going to run something else. And the carburetor's still on it. There's nothing wrong with it. And so I pulled it off and I put it on here. So that's what we were running for a carburetor. And I would tell you what it is, but there's no markings on it. It's just one of those Rovan deals where there's nothing wrote on the carburetor. Yeah, there's nothing wrote on it. I remember trying to look at it, trying to see what carburetor it was. Yeah, there's nothing wrote there. So you really can't, I can't tell you what it is. I know it has a choke, and then I also can tell you that the velocity stack I have on here, I'll actually take this air filter off and show you guys the velocity stack, because the choke will actually open with this velocity stack on there. Yeah, I know a lot of people say, that they got to get a carburetor with no choke. I'm here to tell you and show you right now that carburetor, it's got that velocity stack on it, and I got a choke in there. And the only reason it'll open, I just got to use pliers to do it because the choke lever hits my linkage there. So, but here I can show you how it works. Let me find my pliers. Try to do it from this side so you guys can see. But there, it's closed. And I used to have to do this to with my twin that I had. I had that Chinese twin, a 60cc Chinese twin, and I used to have to do that with the pliers to get the one side choke on it, because it was the same way. It was right against one of them pipes. But no, this works with the choke and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on because I don't like open holes on my engines. So, but I thought that was pretty cool, because a lot of people I know that they eliminate the choke because they say it won't work with the velocity stack. Well, I'm having no problems with it. That's all I'm saying. You find my rag, there it is. So we've pretty much gone over this, and like I said, I believe it's the Walbro 1247. I think it's, don't quote me on the exact number, but I was looking at it yesterday, and I was reading about it, and that's actually the carburetor they specially designed it around this 35. So, I mean, it works for, I think it said 30.5 clear up to 40 cc, but it was specially designed around this engine. So I want to get that carburetor for this and test it out and see what that carburetor is all about and crap like that. So anyways, guys, I think it's going to be time to switch gears over, and while we, I'll get you guys repositioned and we'll move over to the Vesla. So, get you guys repositioned here. And we'll move on to the Vesla. And first thing I want to do is, and I know one of the first things we're going to talk about, what I'm wiping off here from the Vesla. That little, I don't know if everybody's seen that video as well, but you might want to go back and check that video out, because that video, it's, I have the Vesla at New London, and we're doing top speed runs, and it's running across that field. I kid you not, 64 mile an hour with its wheels up in the air, just digging, just hauling the mail all the way across the field. I mean, it's got to be, okay, so the field is 100 yards long, and I'm running diagonal on it, so I don't know. But it's riding wheelies the whole entire time it's doing that. So, but what I'm trying to get at is, in that video, right at the start of it, I fire it up and it sounds like everything's gonna be okay, and then I go to try to take off and it's like, bah, bah. It's acting like it's just flooding out, and it's just acting like it's flooding out. And so that actually lasted a lot longer than I portrayed in the video. I edited a lot of that out. It actually went on for like a minute, and the whole time it was doing that, it was shooting gas like a stream. Every time I hit the throttle, it'd shoot gas like a stream. Here, I'll take the body off. Set it over here. But it was shooting gas out like a garden hose, like a stream, like somebody had the faucet on from that vent hole in there. I know you guys aren't going to be able to probably see that vent hole, but it was, every time I hit the throttle, fuel would just go psh, psh, and what I did is I was like, well, I don't know what this is all about. And the only thing I changed, I know what I changed. There's a little, like, I don't know whether you call it a diaphragm or not, but there's like a little, I don't know, it's hard to explain. I don't know, okay, so if you've seen, actually I think there's one in this. We'll just take this one out. And so the only thing, you want to fall out every time. No, I can't reach out. Okay, so the only thing I changed right before that is it had this inside this cap, which this cap has a little vent hole in it, and I thought it has this vent up here. So I was thinking, well, that should be enough. So I can just take this out, won't worry about it. Well, I took it out, and then it did that, and it was shooting fuel out of it. So, yeah, I think I'm going to take this vent apart and see what's wrong with it. There's got to be something wrong with it because if this vent, it's shooting gas out of it, to me, it felt like it wasn't able to, the tank wasn't venting. Like, it idled fine and did a couple throttle blurps. But other than that, I mean, then it started flooding out and the tank couldn't vent or whatever. I don't know what the hell the deal was, but I am probably going to end up putting that back in it or getting a different cap or something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to figure something out with it. It was not soaking. Yeah, that's exactly right. But what happened was, the reason I knew it wasn't just a bad gasket, I'm moving the chat over here closer to us, guys. But the reason I knew it wasn't just a bad gasket is because I swapped, I just swapped the carburetor from that 30.5 and it fired right up. And when I took it apart, there was nothing wrong with the gasket. In fact, I used the same gaskets and the same heat sink spacer as I did with the 990 that I was trying to put on it that wouldn't draw fuel. But yeah, that's the whole situation with this, and I have no idea why it was doing that. It's almost like it was putting pressure in the tank, but there's no way. You got one feed line, and that's it. So and it's not going to pressurize it from the feed line. It's going to be drawing fuel in. So the only thing I can think of is, and I did fill the tank pretty full. And and that just reminds me is another thing that might have happened is I had the tank so full it couldn't vent. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't vent through here because there was fuel here blocking it from venting. And then it couldn't vent here because the fuel level was too high back here. So that could be a case too, So yeah, Yeah, you're exactly right with this style of carburetor, but with this style of carburetor, there's no primer. So, but yeah, when you prime this here, I'll even actually do it. But you push it down and it squirts fuel out. Can you guys see that? Push it down. I didn't want to do that. Oh well. But yeah, just like what he was saying, when you prime that bulb, that's what it does. It puts fuel in there. So, anyways, this stuff could probably use a little wiping down, anyways. But this machine, what I wanted to check over here mostly is what I wanted to check. Is this going to do this? I'm probably going to have to put vice grips in here or something, so it doesn't keep turning. Okay. There. Well, let's do this then. Okay. Let's see how that is. Can we see my Baja? Yeah. You can see the Baja. It's. I don't know how to explain it, but it's in two pieces, and it's not even the same machine. So the back half of the Punisher is on the Rowcat Hybrid, and the front half is laying on my shop floor over there. And then the back half of the old Rowcat that had that 36cc single ring in it is laying on the floor, and then the Rowcat chassis up here. So, I mean, there's really not much to see. If there's something specific you're after, let me know. But yeah, let's go over this stuff. Oh, just too. I'm running too tall a gear. I can't check that. We'll see if this will work. Yep. That stayed tight. So I'm glad for that. Do you have any Taylor upgrades on them? Yeah. I do, in fact. Hold on a second. Let me check over some more stuff on this, and then we'll switch back over, because the back half of everything, well, I guess that the Rowcat has a bunch of Taylor stuff on it too. But let me finish going over this, and then we'll switch gears to that. So then we're gonna come in under here, just make sure 6 wheelie bar bolts are tight. And I want to check the engine and the transmission bolts I can get to. Okay. And that all seems good, guys. So, oh, the last thing I wanted to check is these three that I was having problems with. I wondered if that billet wouldn't take care of them coming loose all the time, because they're all tight too. So, and these used to come loose every time I ran it. So there's a 28 millimeter carburetor on it. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this. I don't know if there's much else to go over. Yeah, I think it's going to do it good for that. Well, let me go over these real quick. Yep, they're good. Okay, so here we go. Well, that's what I'll do. I will grab that out of the way, and I'll bring this back over, and I'll go over parts. So, okay, so the Baja, the Punisher Baja, the one that used to have the 71 Supreme in it, that one, that has the FLM widening kit on the front, the same that's here on the back. This kit, the same widening kit, and it's got a Lighten chassis. I went with the Lighten instead of the Super Lighten because I wanted to keep some strength in the chassis. So, and then as far as servos and stuff, everything else is pretty much just stock or whatever. I mean, yeah, even the front shocks are the old FT shocks. So yeah, I do have the front shock tower and brace. It is Taylor, and that's the front shock tower and brace. There's like a little brace that goes over there, but and then on this, the whole rear end is built. These are IRC UFC or no UHD ultra heavy duty dog bones and cups. For as far as that, and then the FLM widening kit, and it's got my front hinge pin is Taylor aluminum, and the reason this one is steel, I don't know if you guys can see whether it's steel or not, but this one is steel, and the reason it is steel is because with the 71 in it, I would always tear, even the aluminum ones, I would ruin them, and it would tear the bushing out. It would break the metal. I tried carbon fiber, and that didn't last very long at all. I mean, it lasted shorter than the aluminum ones. So I made this one out of steel, and it's been holding up ever since. And then I got Taylor front and rear bulkheads, and this is a plate that I made. That's for the wheelie bar that I made. And then we got a Taylor RC top plate with the brake deal. We got IRC brakes. We got Blackbone gears. We got UFC clutch, and I'm pretty sure that's a UFC clutch bell unless I got it from Mike, unless it's Mike's bell. I can't remember. It could be Blackbone. I don't know who makes the bell. It's got a Taylor carrier on it, Taylor gear plate, and it's the one, you don't have your bolts that go in through here. You just got two that go down through there and then two that go here. So, and then Blackbone gears, and these are 2054 gears. And those are my IRC brakes binding up. And the reason they're binding up is because I need to replace that. Yeah, I need to replace the center shoe. It just actually failed. It's just dangling in there. It ain't working, folks. So, yeah, gear plate, brake plate, front and rear bulkheads. I mean, this is the drop shock tower from Taylor, so I could run the big block side pipe, the Taylor big block side pipe, because if you don't have this little drop where it bends, your shock tower is always bouncing off of it. It just mars up your pipe is what it does. And then it's got, yeah, that's Taylor transmission housing with Blackbone gears in it, and yeah, it's got the I think it's IRC diff case, Kraken bevel gears, and I think it's got it feels like it's probably got more like 2 million weight in the rear, but it's got either 1 or 2 million weight in the rear end. And then IRC big bore shocks. And to be honest with you guys, I do have my black springs. I actually have the original springs, and then I have black springs, and then I have these red springs for these IRC big bore shocks. But to be honest with you guys, I don't film everything, of course, but off camera I switched out these springs with the heavier black ones, not the stock ones that are like mostly like stock Rovan or King Motors springs. They're a step up from that, and so I stuck in the black ones, and it really okay, so it's not heavy enough to be a big bore, but these shocks work real nice with this billet small block in here. That's all I'm trying to say. So
put it down Loctite. Everything that's around my end.
Yep, I do that as well. I try not to go crazy with Loctite, because if you get too much in there and you don't clean out your threads, it'll actually ruin the threads in your aluminum. So I'm trying to catch up on comments. No, I didn't see what you got for your Baja, bro. Yeah, that would suck. That sucks about discontinued parts. I mean, there's a crap load of them out there, and that's actually why I made this Roccat hybrid thing, because I was afraid that, you know, parts is gonna get discontinued for it anyways, and so really the only thing I have to worry about breaking is my control arms, upper and lower, and then my knuckles, and you know, my kingpins or whatever you want to call it that attach everything. So I mean, I got extra shocks down below my table over there where my nitro is, my T-Max underneath my table down there. But yeah. What was that? Just a big glob of grass. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on. See, we went over the Kraken and this, you know, the 71 Supreme. There's really not a whole lot to go over on that, because the only thing you really have to go over is, well, it's pretty much the same way on this machine, but there's just a lot less to do. You just go over the fasteners and make sure everything's tight. But you know, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Another thing I wanted to mention too is right now I'm running I think it's an 8,000 RPM, just a regular. Well, I can show you what it is. I can show you what it is. So I'm just running this right now for my clutch spring. I mean, that's all I'm running, and this thing is supposed to have a 9,500 RPM clutch spring in it. And a while back, I changed my clutch. Or no, what happened is it must have got fatigued. It was last fall, actually, about a year ago. And since then, I still haven't got the right clutch spring that needs to go in it. But this thing, it engages a little bit lower RPM, which I don't really like, because I believe the engine RPM is a little bit higher with this one. Right, not the RPM, but the torque. The torque band is a little bit higher, so it kind of grunts getting out of hole. But as soon as it gets on the pipe, it's like, wah, it goes like crazy. But so it would help to get, you know, a better clutch spring in it than this, and you know, I was looking at that and I was thinking, well, I wonder what this one is, but I don't want to go backwards. And it looks like these windings are actually thinner than these, and the actual height of the windings. So that tells me the wire thickness is the wire thickness diameter is smaller, and it's actually, this is probably a 6,000. So, yeah. So I'm, like I said, I'm wanting to get a 9,500 RPM clutch spring in it. Now that'll help it, especially with the launch. It'll give it a lot more torque off the line and be up there in the RPM range and really getting at it. So yeah. But no, that pipe ended up working perfect. I mean, the suspension, it doesn't even hit the suspension. It actually hits the suspension, or it hit the suspension on, no, it does. I think it was the Rooster. Anyways, one of them, it was hitting the suspension. And you can see where the end is all dinked up. But it doesn't hit it here, and the cage just right on top of it. It's just like perfect. So fits like a glove. Trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, you'll be happy with that. I just went back and read it. You're gonna be happy with that. I really think you will. I mean, um, well, this is the wrong machine to even be comparing it to, but that tank brace, top plate, and what else did he put in there? Carbon fiber hinge pins. Yeah, are you talking the upper wide plate? That, trying to figure out what you're meaning by that, but but yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I don't want to drag the stream on if I ain't got, nothing to say or nothing to talk about. They connect all the arms together. Oh, I got you. So, well, guys, trying to think if there's anything else. I wonder if I can get you guys in there to see that brake shoe, but it is finally gave away. I mean, yeah, it finally gave away. I don't know if you can see it, but it's dropped down in there. So I'm gonna have to get a new set of brakes or something for this. Brake shoes, anyways. They're just IRC brake shoes. So y'all have to get something made up for this before I can run it again, because that's why it's binding like that. It binds. It only goes so far, and then even on here it's binding, and that's no good. We don't want it binding up there. Because a lot of times those things will bind, but you go up here and you spin it, and it spins. It'll just spin right away. So. Just the fact that it's an extreme powerhouse, and be ready for it. Cause I have nothing but positive things to say about it. I mean, it runs flawlessly. It's got all the brute force power you'd ever want. I mean, and oh yeah, you're gonna want lots of this. Takes lots of this. It'll rattle things loose you've never had rattle loose. And then another thing I can tell you is I'm on my 71 Supreme. I am running the 28 millimeter carburetor setup, but before you switch over, I'm pretty sure they come with a WJ71 on them. Before you go switching that out and going with the 28 millimeter, I would suggest getting used to the engine first, because that's what I did, and that's exactly what Mike told me to do. And when I put it on, when I put it on the engine, it like doubled. It doubled it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it doubled the horsepower, because it was definitely enough power. You could see how much how much more power it gave it. It's like it didn't bat an eye at anything. I mean, it was just brute force, brute power. Oh yeah, it'll be perfect in that MCD. Yep, the W5, it'll be perfect in that. I can't remember if the W5 is. I'm pretty sure it's 4-wheel drive, but in fact, another guy just got a hold of me here a while back on Facebook, or yeah, Facebook Messenger, and he had an MCD with a 71 Supreme in it. I don't know what model, but he had an MCD in it with the 71 Supreme, and we were talking about carburetor tunes, and he showed me a clip, and yeah, they run really good in a 4-wheel drive machine too. I'm partial to a 2-wheel drive machine, because I've always been one of those guys that likes to see the wheels hanging in the air and see, riding a wheelie for, 150, 200 yards. I think that's just the awesomest thing, especially when it's doing 65 mile an hour and it's just hanging the wheels up there. I just think that's awesome. So, but yeah, guys, trying to think if there's anything else. You guys keep asking me questions and I'll just keep answering them. Oh, I bet that Twin 60 runs. I bet that Twin 60 runs good. Those OBR Toxic Twins are awesome. In fact, SRE, yeah, SRE Customs had one, and he's done a bunch of stuff to it now. But when he first got it, he sent it to me. Unfortunately, I could never get it to fire up, because it was the way we had it set up. It was not the easiest thing to start. So, and then going from tunes, okay, so his altitude and sea level and barometric pressure and all that shit was so much different than mine. And then to get to the needles, you pretty much had to pull off the passenger side pipe every time to tune it. So, needless to say, I never got it running. I wish I would have, because I'm pretty sure those things run twice as good as any one of them Chinese knockoff twins like I had, and they'll run for longer too. Because that Chinese twin that I had, it was that knockoff twin. I can't remember what brand it was, but I had it, and you could run it for probably 6 or 8 minutes, but anywhere after that, and that outer cylinder is like getting upwards of 400 degrees. I mean, it was cooking. So, but trying to think. Another thing, this easy start, I'll tell you, this easy start is pretty much an absolute must with this Taylor 35cc Reed engine, man. This thing has so much compression. Without the easy start, I just had that regular start on. I don't know if I still have it hanging on the wall, but it's just like a regular Zeno full starter. And I had that on there, and I could never pull it fast enough to get a pop out of it. And so I could just feel, I guess, when it was okay to start, because you pull it and it would really pull hard for the first, I don't know, couple turns of the engine, and then it's almost like you could feel it getting fuel in it, and then it would turn over a little bit happier, and then I cracked the throttle, because that's how Mike was told us to start them, So I crack the throttle and I give it a pull and it'd fire up. But man, I got this thing on there and I went, you know, because before I had the choke on it, I had the 990 and I would hold my hand over it and then I just put this on and I pulled it twice. It was like pop. It did the perfect pop. It was like, oh no shit, I wasn't spinning it fast enough, so that's why that was going on. So yeah, that's a damn good deal. I mean, I'm pretty sure a 71 Supreme brand new is like $2,700. I know I bought my 40 GT years ago, and it was 1,700. So, and then this engine. By the way, guys, I was gonna just let everybody know I built this engine. So I bought the case, the Reed case, and I kept the piston port 35, and I replaced the piston ring. I bought the V1 cylinder because I already had the head, and I put my rotating assembly in it, and I blocked off, the intake port myself with epoxy, and machined my own hole down, my own Reed port down through the cylinder. And so this engine I actually built and did all the machine work on it. So I just thought I'd throw that in there. I mean, this is back when everybody's waiting for the Reed engine to come out, but you could buy the case, but the Reed engine wasn't being released because the V2 cylinder wasn't done and it wasn't complete, and just, that kind of situation. So what I did was I went ahead and, I bought the piston, the ring, the cylinder, and the case, new bearings, of course, all that stuff. And I just, I built this engine, so that's what I did. Yeah, 27, I thought it was.
And he was like, hey, they can play the devil in 50cc in his house.
Oh, I know it. Well, Mike has a video, I think, on his channel of a 65 Supreme he has on a GoPed. And I don't know if it's actually Mike riding it, but there's a guy riding it. And he has to get up on the handlebars because it's popping wheelies while he's going down the road. And they put a GPS speed tracker on him. He's doing 100 mile an hour on that GoPed with the 65 Supreme. So, but I'm thinking that I want to get another big bore because, don't get me wrong, the Taylor 35, small block engine, it is a terrific, fantastic engine. But, when I go from the 71 to this small block every time, it's not that it's unimpressive. It's just that it doesn't fuel my fire anymore. I'm used to that big bore, big block power. And I'm thinking about maybe getting another 40 GT. Like I have got my 40 GT cylinder sitting up there, but I was thinking about maybe getting another 40 GT or even getting like maybe even a 65 or something like that. But I definitely want another big bore. I don't know when I'll get it or anything like that. I just know that that's going to be on the agenda. I don't know. It would be really, really freaking cool to stick a big bore in this thing and see how this thing handles, because there's nothing to this, guys. This car is so light. The heaviest part about it is the engine. I mean, I'm telling you, it's at least, I don't know, 6-7 pounds lighter than a Baja. So, yeah, so, but,
Here's another one. Do any of you know tips and mods for
the Rovan XLT 450? Yeah, I would definitely, I know this sounds stupid because it's brand new and it's, you know, been put together. But I would definitely go over it, check all your fasteners. You might even want to take it apart and make sure your diff is filled. Your diffs, I'm pretty sure that, is that XLT 4-wheel drive? I'm pretty sure it is. XLT 450? I thought it was 4-wheel drive. Yeah, I thought it was 4-wheel drive. Because what's the Max, that Max, that wide sucker is the one that I'm thinking of, the 2-wheel drive. Yeah, okay. But I would definitely take, you know, your stuff apart and make sure, because I found, and I've seen a lot of people, you know, they run their car and then they end up having a problem or an issue, and it may or may not be what that part is, but they'll end up pulling the transmission apart and they're like, hey, look, they didn't even fill my differential, or, you know, just stupid stuff like that. So just make sure you go over it and don't just pull it out of the box, put fuel in it and run it. I mean, you can do that because I've done it a few times, but you'll end up running into issues down the road. It's just better to take your time, go over it, because this is a hobby. I mean, go over it, go through it, get to know it. My knobbies are starting to peel off this tire. But get to know it, go over it, get to know it, go through it. I mean, I personally would do that. I mean, I personally would, just because simple fact that you never know what goes on with them, with them things in the factory. I've seen the weirdest shit come out on them things, and you'll be like, what? And in fact, I want to say the second Rovan I got didn't have differential fluid in it. So it was it's my second Baja, because I got a Baja, then I got an FT, then I got another Baja. Both my Bajas are on the ground. And then, yeah, because there's another one over there in pieces, but yeah, I got 3 in pieces on the garage floor. Oh, goodness help me. But, let's see what's going on here. So, but, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, you guys keep asking me questions, and I'll keep answering them and stuff, and whatnot. So, but as far as the front end of this thing, I could go over some of the stuff. I did take the drive shafts out, but the front end is still in there. The differential's still in there. You can see I don't know if you can see that drive cup spinning. When I do that, I say that. Now it's locking up, but I don't know if you can see that drive. Yeah, the shock's in the way I'm watching it, but yeah, the differential's still loaded up there. It just doesn't have drive cups. It's just 2-wheel drive. And by the way, when I had this out the other day and I was driving it around, I really like the way it handles. I mean, you can just full throttle burn it into a corner, and it's just gonna take it. It doesn't do the best steering. I mean, the front wheels kind of slide, but I mean it won't roll over like some of my other machines, and it's not top heavy and stuff like that. So yeah, I can show you what I use for differential oil. That's what I got, and this is 2 million. It's 2 ounces, and yeah, okay, so you can see how much is in that bottle. I've already filled 1 differential, so it doesn't take much. This 2-ounce bottle will last you a long time. Yeah. In fact, I think this has it, and I know the Vesla has it for sure, because I had to buy some for it, because I was running, yeah, that's not it. I think I was running this, 500,000. I think I got this from John at Detroit Performance. And I didn't like this, it wasn't thick enough, and so, yeah, that's what I think. In fact, I think I've rebuilt 2 differentials with that, or put fluid into them. It doesn't take much. Once you get all them gears in there and stuff, it doesn't take much.
Hey, what's up, Ford man?
I love your name. I think that's awesome. I'm a huge Ford fan. So I got a Ford F-150 Lightning, it's a 2002 F-150 Lightning. We got a 2017 Ford Explorer. I got a 94 Ford Ranger. And yeah, I think that's all the vehicles we have. You have to excuse me, I got a brain injury, and vehicles and life tends to run together on me. I don't have very good time I have a hard time remembering stuff. We'll say that. So but so yeah, I think that's gonna probably do it. What is there anything else you guys have any questions with? I mean, we also got this machine. I mean, I can put another machine up over here, and I seen a comment just. So I can put the 71 machine up here. I might have to switch back and forth from them, but there's the 71 machine. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, if I had some extra money laying around, I'd definitely be interested in that MCD. But I just, right now I'm kind of tired. We just bought a new camper and stuff, so this wasn't the year for me to upgrade power plants and all that stuff. We had other things on the agenda to do. So, oh yeah, just Google or look up. You could, every time I see them and every time I Google them, it comes up on eBay. So Ramtek, RAMTEK wheel adapters for Rampage, and the what comes up works for Chimera, XB, XT, what's the MT? It works for all of them. So that would be my suggestion. Definitely is going to Ramtek and seeing what they got here. Let me adjust that up a little bit so it's not cutting my head off. But but I would definitely, if you're looking, because once you get those Ramtek wheel adapters, in fact, I might even have some laying around down here. Yeah, I do. I do have some laying around down here. A little dirty and a little, whoops. I forgot to move the camera. But that's what it looks like. And what that does is it slides over what your square drive fits onto, and that's a 24 millimeter hex, which is what's the standard Baja or Rovan runs, and you can put, that's actually what's on the front of. I got these Ramtek wheel adapters on the front of the Red Cat or the Rocat hybrid for the Baja tires that are on the front of it. So, yep, no problem. But yeah, you put those Ramtek wheel adapters on it, and then you can run. I mean, hell, you could run that style of tire if you wanted to, because all that is a Baja wheel Baja rear wheel. You probably want to run rears all the way around, just depending on the offset and how much clearance you got on the inside. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but you could run, and these are just A-Kill super spikes. You could run 4 of them all the way around. So. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, I love a Baja, and in fact that's why I have 3 of them. And then I pulled the trigger on this spring and got it here, and then had to wait a while. I put the big bore in it, and it blew that idler gear, and so we had to wait a while for it, the gear to come out for Mike to make that heavy duty idler gear. But once it came out, I put the 71 into the Vesla, and I'm telling you what, this Kraken Vesla platform is my absolute favorite, like big bore 2-wheel drive machine. It's so stable. I'm telling you, you could be going, well, I got a video out there in New London. You can be going 64 mile an hour, ride a 150-yard wheelie. It just rides a wheelie the whole way. It just wheels up the whole way, and it roosts the whole way it's doing it. I mean, there's just roosters coming out like crazy. So oh yeah, and this is actually, these are pretty sure 2749s. Yep, 2749 gears on here. Really, what I like about this is look how well that spins, guys. That is amazing. That just spins for days. This is the smoothest rolling 5th scale machine I've ever had. There, finally stopped, but I mean, goodness sakes, I love this thing. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and probably quit the stream here. I don't have much more to talk about or much more to go over. Otherwise, I just feel like I'm rambling and stuff as far as that goes. Let me see if there's any.
I have the extended arms on mine also. Ceramic bearings are king.
Yeah, I've never tried a ceramic bearing, and what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'll probably get, a bearing kit probably get a couple of them for a Baja, and I don't know if they offer them for a Vesla yet, but I'll get a bearing kit for the Vesla and stuff too as well, because I haven't tried those ceramic bearings, but it seems like everybody swears by them. Yeah, no problem, Ford man. Hey, thanks for stopping by, guys. And yeah, that's going to do it for today's live session. I hope I have answered some questions, and hope everybody got to interact with me a little bit more instead of just watching my videos. That's why I want to get into these live streams and do this live stream, because it's a way for me to interact with my audience, the people who watch my videos. So I'm not always talking to them through comments. I like to be to be here for you. So anyways, guys, I just wanted to say that. And with that being said, I hope you guys liked the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Give it a thumbs up and share it. Do all that fun stuff. And don't forget, we will see you in the next one.